Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TvZ build guide for the month of February, and I'd just like to say, are you tired of going Liberators? Are you tired of tired of going Battle Cruisers or Medevacs super early? I don't think anybody does Medevacs super early. Well, I'm here today to show you, instead of a Rax first build, I'm going to show you guys a Gas first Banshee opening. This is a really old build, but it's one a lot of people used to use back in 2017. Remember gas first this time, so got your gas at 15 here. This is a Banshee build that's still pretty solid, still pretty good. It's a little bit greedier than what I think most of you guys will be used to, as instead of doing the usual the usual 6 Hellions, you do 4 Hellions, 2 less Hellions. And you do go for 2 Banshees as opposed to just like one single Liberator or a single Viking or Medevac. However, there are alterations to this build you can do, such as, you know, if you want to, you can still go, you still can go for the 6 Hellions, and you could, in theory, go Viking and then 1 Banshee with Cloak, but for the sake of all standard purposes, I'm going to do it the way I remember, which is 4 Hellions, 2 Banshees with Cloak, and we're going to be doing this into an A-Rax all-in. The reason I'm doing an A-Rax all-in is because that seems to be the standard today. More people are preferring to do an A-Rax all-in, so I feel like it's more fitting to just do that. Now, one thing I'd like to talk about real quick is linear bases, aggressive bases, and defensive bases. Typically speaking, expanding linear is the most offensive thing you can do, linear being like this in a line, and aggressive bases being expanding towards your opponent, and then defensive bases being expanding, you know, in a triangle, safely. Now, typically, expanding linear is safer. By the way, when this comes down, you're going to do depot, reactor, and then gas. Typically, expanding linear is the safest, especially in map pools like this. But for things like A-Rax all-in and for Terran typically, you always want to expand towards your opponent's newer bases. So this would be our third base because Zerg likes to expand linear. So our rally would actually go towards cutting them off, as you can see. It would go between their 4th here and their 3rd base here, so it's ideal. Unless they take the other 4th base, but in which case you still pressure the 4th base, so it's alright. So now we're going to throw down a starport here after the factory's done. And your barracks is just going to make a tech lab. You can hide the tech lab if you want, no real reason to. Unless you want to hide Banshees, but with the meta right now, Zergs are going to find it one way or another, so it's just... how much do you want them to wait before they find it? They're going to make a depot right here, and start up your next 2 Hellions. Like I said with this build, this is a 4 Hellion build, so your 4 Hellions are going to be out on the map as quickly as you can, and you don't want to lose them. You want to be very light with your pressure, so play nice. You're going to swap the barracks and starport here when the tech lab's done. Make another depot here. You're going to do Cloak right away, and then your Banshee. Nice stuff. And keep your factory on the barracks, or on the reactor as long as you can, just in case. I should mention as well, if you need to, you can make 2 Marines. No reason to, though, yet. And you're going to see here, we're going to be able to drop our 3rd CC at the 4 minute mark, right as this depot finishes. So that's right there. Just a little bit before 4 minutes, it's fine. And then we're going to drop our wall. Once the wall is done, then you can lift this up. You can do a reactor here, tech lab here. And what you're going to do is you're going to drop down a barracks right here, and a barracks right over here. And you're going to queue up another Banshee. Now with your Banshees, you want to path them typically towards the corners like here or here. And you want to wait until Cloak is done. Now you can Cloak in advance if you think you're going to spot an Overlord or run into a stray one. So keep in mind of where your Banshee is. You're going to start a tank now. And you're going to make, instead of 2 Marines, you're just going to make 2 eBays right here. So eBay, eBay. And you're going to go gas, gas. Right here, your Cloak is done. So I would say Cloak right here just before you run into an Overlord. You know? And when focusing drones, you can go together with the Banshees, but you want to shift queue them as quickly as you can. The more you shift queue, the better. And now you're going to swap these. Reactor right here. You're going to start your +1/+1. Another depot. Actually, before this next tank, you're going to do your +1, stim, marines, and then you're going to do your tank. And yeah, your Banshees should just kind of be going to different bases if they can, or you can have them meet up. You want to kill as many drones as you can. If your Banshees can't kill anything, by the way, the best place to put them is just between bases, if there's, like, say, a spore in the mineral line. So let's say Zerg third base is right here. You would just want your Banshee sitting right here cloaked to kill the transferring drones. Or you can have them at the edge of creep. I think between bases is better. So you're going to start an armory now. Depot. And you're going to start rallying down over here. Start up your wall. Keep making marines. When the medevacs go out, you can go for your push, the standard one we do with the Hellion Lib. Only a little bit different here. You can still see it still like lines up relatively similar, so that's all good. Of course, we could have had a bit faster marines, but that's okay. Start up your 4th and 5th racks. Do your depots. And like I said, we're going to be doing an 8 racks all in here. So by the time these 2 barracks are done, you're going to notice we have enough with another SCV popping out to go ahead and start up 8 more. And you know what? I think we did forget combat shields here, so that's fine. Actually, no, combat shields doesn't even finish with this. This is a little bit slow. Wow. That's still fine. You can just go for drop play instead with the medevacs and delay combat shields. The nice thing here is you kind of have the Banshee pressure, so it is to be expected that something is cut. So here, you're going to start your 5th gas only, and you're going to do 2 barracks. And your 3rd barracks. And you're just going to chill and make depots here. And at this point, you're just dropping for now and clearing creep, and you're trying to max out as quickly as you can on these 8 racks without getting any more workers here. So you should be at around 66 to 65. Keep making tanks, keep making medevacs, and just whatever units you have from your medevacs, just send them out with a drop and keep your tanks at home to defend. So you're just trying to clear creep towards their 4th base, and you want to start making marauders right before your barracks finish, and 2 depots at a time. 3 tech labs as soon as you can. Drop your mules if you need to. You shouldn't have to. You should just be able to scan here. Again, we're dropping it because we're against the AI. No creep spread. Keep making tanks, keep making units. You can see here our money should start to get spent better as the marauders are now out. So we can go in and attack the Zerg here. Again, this is an all-in, so you're not going to be needing that 4th base anytime soon. You're just trading and trying to deal as much damage as you can. You can get ship armor if you want to. I would say maybe tank attack is better. And right about here at 9 minutes, you would start moving out with all of your units. Now you may say this is still like similarly maxed out time to your, by the way, start your Fort CC. You may say this is like a similar maxed out time to Hellion Lib, but the difference here is we have significantly more marauders. And still more coming out in much better production. So you probably could do a bit more with a little bit better macro and maybe a bit of a better build than Banshees. But all in all, this still works out pretty well. So we'll go for the kill move here. You can transform these into Hellions, Hellbats. 945 we'll have our 2-2. Again, keep in mind that everything actually is delayed just due to the fact we spent 300 gas on Banshees and Cloak, which typically, Banshees are not only good defensively against stuff like Roach all-ins, but they're also really good for just getting good harassment damage if you can micro them really well. But that's the build for this month, into Arax Sullen. If you would like to find more examples of the Arax Sullen, I would highly recommend looking on YouTube for the series Raynor versus Kier from Warty TV. Kier doesn't go Arax Sullen every game, but I think he does in one of the games. There was also Clem versus Scarlet, also casted by Warty. They do the Arax Sullen really well, so I watch those VODs. They're pretty recent. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll catch everybody later. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Goodbye.